Let us now discuss the 7 steps that you and I as managers must follow if you and I are going to solve problems in our organization, in our departments, even for us personally. These are 7 proven steps. When followed accurately and well, you are capable of solving your problems efficiently and with a great deal of satisfaction. Here's the first one. Identify the problem. The question becomes, how do you identify a problem? You determine what things are like when everything is going well. What do things look like when everything is A-OK, when everything is wonderful? Determine what things are like when everything is going well. And then decide how much variation from the norm is tolerable. You decide how much variation can you tolerate without it becoming uncomfortable. If then there's more variation than you can tolerate, what do you have? A problem. That's how you identify if you have a problem or not. At the crisis stage, it's easy to identify a problem. At the emergent stage, it may not be as easy unless you have policies and procedures in place. Unless you define what is that variation and what do things look like. If I had my way, how would things look? And then how much variation from that picture can I tolerate without my organization suffering? So identify the problem. Secondly, analyze the problem. In other words, determine what makes the situation a problem. Why is it a problem? What exactly has taken place? Where has it taken place? How? When? Who's involved? Analyze what that problem is. And then thirdly, describe the problem. I've written many books over the years, and I can tell you that every time I write a book, the first thing I do before I write the first word of that book is take a piece of paper and a pencil, and in one sentence, in 12 words or less, I write what that book is all about. If I cannot define clearly and accurately what that book is going to be about, that book could be very, very confusing to the reader. Focus on what it is. Identify it, analyze it, and then in one statement describe what the problem really is. If you can't do that, there is no point trying to follow up with solutions because you haven't yet described what the exact problem is. Here's the 4th step in problem solving. Look for root causes. What are those things with individuals or groups of individuals, with departments or with machines that cause this problem? Many managers tend to solve problems at the symptomatic stage. They look for the symptoms and solve the symptoms. What happens when you do that? The problem occurs and reoccurs all over again. What we must do is find out the exact cause of the problem. And when you know the cause of the problem, you can then somehow solve the very thing that caused the problem in the first place. For example, if I were to have a cold today, if I were sick, if I could determine exactly how and when I caught this cold, what caused this cold, then what would happen? I would know the root cause. If, for example, I determined that I took a bath and then I went out in the rain and that gave me a cold, then I would know next time when I take a bath, I should not go out in the rain. Therefore, solving the root cause of the problem. Number 5, develop alternative solutions. What might be the solutions to this problem? Think of as many solutions as you can, pass no judgments on them, and be creative. And be creative. Let me see if I can give you one other problem. And let's see if collectively, in this management seminar today, we can solve this problem. Now you have to think, and you have to think very creatively. Imagine that you have 5 little chains. They look something like this. That's 1, that's 2, that's 3, that's 4 and 5. These are little chains with little links in the chains, 5 little chains, and they're divided up, as you can see, in these 5 sections. Your job it is to take these 5 little chains and put them together in one straight line so that what you have is one long, continuous, interlooped chain. Now, when I say one long, continuous chain, I don't mean you weld them together like this. Every link in every chain has to have movement in it, so that it's just a complete chain in a straight line. Do we understand the question? So far, it's easy, right? You could do that. What if I were to say that it would take 2 points to break one of these links? That will take 2 points. And it would take 1 point to weld that back together. So to break it like this with an opening would cost you 2 points, and then to close it back up again will cost you 1 more point. The person who's going to give me the best answer is the one manager here today who's going to give me the least number of points that it would cost to put all of these chains together in one continuous straight line. Think about it, and when you have an answer, let me know, because I want to hear what you have to say. Be creative. The most obvious solution is not always the best solution. It appears easy for us to solve problems, but problems demand creativity if they're going to be solved in a way that has a lasting effect. How many points would it cost you to solve this by putting it all in one continuous chain?
Can I use additional screw links?
What does that mean?
A different type of link to assemble them with.
You can only use...
Otherwise, 9 points. I can do this in 9 points.
You can do it in 9 points. Anybody? How many points? If you have the answer, just let me have it. How many points would it take to put them all together in one continuous chain?
9 points.
Okay? Judy?
8.
8 points. Okay. Anybody with 12? 12? You have 12? Yeah? So when you have 12, what you did is you unhooked this, connected it, hooked it up again, unhooked, connected, and that comes to 12 points. Actually, the right answer is 9. 8, it's impossible to do a continuous chain with 8. 9 is the right one, and what you do is this. You take this chain here, you break this one, that's 2 points. You break this one, that's 2 points. You break this one, that's 2 points. That's a total of 6 points. Then you take these 4 and you put them in a straight line. Right? And then, so now we've used this one, this one, this one, and this one. And we have 3 small ones here. We take this one here, put it right there, and link it up again. We take this one, put it right there, and link it up again. And take this one, put it here, and link it up again. That's 1 point, 1 point, 1 point. So 6 plus 3 equals 9. Takes some creativity to come up with that answer, and you did very, very well. Just to think, if we gave you the kind of chains with the screws that you wanted, how many points would that have taken?
None.
It would have taken none.
Yes.
Isn't that an interesting answer? That creativity goes beyond what appears to be the case. In other words, I was limiting his solution by giving him these facts. And he went beyond the limitations and said, but if I can have these resources, I can give you an answer bigger and better than the answer you anticipated. Creativity in problem solving is a must. It's a condition to success. That was point 5. Here's point 6. The 6th step to problem solving is to implement the decision. Now, you can implement the decision. Go ahead, select an alternative solution that works well, and implement it. And I want to share with you a little secret. The manager who implements decisions properly, effectively, and consistently is the man or woman who always thinks in advance. What might go wrong as I implement this decision? And if that were to happen, how would I react? What would I do? I always say to managers, think of 2 or 3 things that might go wrong, and then have strategies to somehow overcome them. If you don't do that, then something might go wrong. It's a surprise to you. You did not anticipate it, and the result will never be as effective as you had hoped for. And then the 7th step, measure results. Measure results. Now that we have solved this whole situation, was it the right decision? Did I pick the right alternative? How do I know? I measure the results. Are the results in keeping with the philosophy and the mission and the vision of this company? Did the results bring for me and my department and my organization what I wanted? Because if they didn't, then we have to go back and correct and make amendments so that we do have more reasonable solution to these problems.